大家好，歡迎收看最新一集的不藏私。今天的不藏私呢，不得了了，我們邀請到一個重磅的嘉賓，鞋靴界的國際巨星哦，來到我們的現場節目。那這位嘉賓就是從我以前到現在都非常仰慕的一個前輩。那我們歡迎鈴木理也先生。
我是铃木理也。
Oh, nice, yeah.
Very happy to come back to here after 8 years. When I came here last time, I was working for Red Wing. Now, I'm more independent, but that's my biggest job helping the Americana brand, denim brand Gelado, with the line of the footwear and also a little bit of clothing.Under the name of the Two Monkeys.
Two Monkeys, yes. 那我們今天呢也很高興呢，就是趁铃木先生呢来到台北的时候呢，請他来分享一下他的個人的收藏。Could you please share your collection?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was not prepared to do the video, so I didn't bring a lot of my collections, but I happen to have, two of my, classic collections which inspired me to make the current boots of the Two Monkeys. So let me show you this boot.Is what I got almost 10 years ago, a little bit before that. I bought it from French vintage dealers.
Okay.
It might be made in USA. There was no brand name. There is a logo on the sole.
It's in English, right?
Yeah. This Lennox is probably the name of the place.
Okay.
Probably where the boot or the outsole, outsole leather is made.
Okay.
They make the shoes like this in the States and also in Europe. And this is probably, made in 1910s.
1910, okay.
Somewhere around between 1910 to 1925, and which has a very classic features. Probably made of Goodyear welt, but have a very thin single leather sole, compact heel, and this the shape is the very squeezed waist shape. Okay. And similar to the other one, which is typical to that era. This is hidden channel, but probably Goodyear welt. Very very narrow waist, compact heel. And the leather is probably this is kid.
Okay.
If not horse. And this they use a different leather, gold. I'm not sure. This is probably because of these fat wrinkles, maybe horse. Okay. Horse side. And here this is again, the using the different leather. And this is something like in 19th century, very beginning of 20th century, the people wear a lot of Balmoral, and this is one of the Balmoral bottom. But they make lace up with this platform, just changing the upper quarter, and for lace up or for side gore, what they called Congress at the time. This is a kind of typical, probably older platform as a shoe upper design. Then the mainstream shoe design for this type of boot become the blucher. They still want to keep this lower part and upper part separated, and so that they can use the different leather. So this is a kind of design in transition of Balmoral as a mainstream shoe design, boot design to blucher. Okay. And this was the time of probably 1910s, 20s.
Oh, very interesting.
Right. For me, this was very impressive by having this platform, bottom platform, this balance of the short nose and the big quarter. I was working for Red Wing at the time, and knowing that this is far from what Red Wing want to do. I still want to have this kind of shoe, somewhere under some brands. So incubate the idea of making this type of boot. It was 5 years ago. Boss of Gelado, Goto-san, they asked me to help build his boot lineup. And, we started to work together. And in the beginning, we didn't know what to do. I was trying to make a boot more built into Gelado, Americana, Amekaji, maybe 1930s to 70s. So in the beginning, I recommended kind of reproduction of the hunting boot. We made a sample, but it didn't really ring our bells. Then Goto-san asked me to do what I really want to do. and he knows that I love something very classic, old school, modern Americana era. Then I started to make something like this. But as we started with the idea of the hunting boot in the beginning, we still keep a kind of hunting boot, typical Mokuto style. So the first product that we made is a Mokuto design with this type of narrow waist, compact heel that really emphasizes a lot of curvature that boot has, and the rather lightweight leather upper, and that is quite comfortable, lightweight, and we launched it as a sportive.
Sportive, yes.
Right. This sportive was a kind of mixture of what Gerard has as one of the brand characteristics, and my intention to make something very classic. And it worked very well.
Yes, yes.
So I started to work for the second boot design, and then I decided to use this for the second boot design.
So the result is this, right?
Right. Okay. So this is a second boot from the Two Monkeys.
Okay.
Launched
Let me hold one.
almost 3 years ago. And name is Vaudeville.
Vaudeville.
So, same as the first one, sportive, I have the factory combining the Goodyear weld 4-part.
Okay, the 4-part.
Right. And the mackay or break stitching, for waist and the heel. And I make stitching exposed here rather than being hidden like this.
Okay.
Right. So that consumer can really imagine. Or if consumer want to resolve, then it's easier for the cobbler to understand the constructions.
Yes. So how about the leather?
Found a very good Italian horsehide, which can be finished in Japan. Italian horsehide, it was drum dye, but it was crushed. So this can be finished in Japan, so we can make the T-core leather. The last is based on Manson last. I modified the Manson last for the toe shape and the squeeze of the upper part of the heel. And otherwise it's Manson last.
Yeah.
So that have a quite wide finger area, but still low in the front of the instep.
Okay. So in this show, we will ask you to rate his shoes.
Yeah.
In 4 categories. The first one is the appearance. As
this is something I really like.
Okay.
So
I 1 to 5 stars.
I can give the 5 stars because
5 stars.
this is I really wanted to wear by myself.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So among many boots that I make, I wear this the most often comparing to the others.
And the second one is the comfort.
I don't want to be too confident, but still.
You can, no problem.
Yeah, I give 5 stars, and probably this is, if you try this, maybe you agree to me. The era, 100 years ago, they call it as a shoe. Rather than a boot. This is what they wear every day.
Okay.
It was a time that not many people drive. Road was not paved, so road is soil. Now you have to walk on the soil every day. If you wear Oxford, the soil comes in. By being this made for everybody, this is made very comfortable to wear, very easy to walk.
So the comfort is also rated 5 stars. Okay.
Right.
Another one is the construction.
Construction, by some reasons I put 4 stars.
4 stars, okay.
Right. We are using 2 different construction, Goodyear and the break stitching or mackay construction, which makes the resoling a little bit complicated.
So the last one is rarity.
We are making this in a shoe factory. If we take, a lot of orders, we make a lot. So it's a kind of, probably mass production is, misleading as the terminology. But this is made as more in a factory rather than one person doing everything by hand. So in that case, I can say this is as rare as the boot like the everything make to order bespoke shoes. So in terms of this, probably I put 4 stars.
4 stars.
Right.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your boot and the knowledge.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me for your video.
那以上就是这一集的不藏私，那我们很感謝米奇亚桑。 來參加我們的
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 來參加我們的那個不藏私。那如果各位對他的跟 Gerard 的合作品牌 Two Monkeys 有興趣的話呢，也可以就是去他們官網或是他們在台灣的經銷點，去親自體驗一下。就是其實看到實品之後，真的會覺得非常的驚豔。那我們再次感謝鈴木理也先生，謝謝。
ありがとうございます。謝謝。
那拜拜嘍。拜拜。